future is ethnic. The human species is tribal. And we will be a part of the global ethnic future one way or another. Liberal and cultural Marxist Europe has to change. In fact, we, the Balts and finno-ugrians and intermarium, should lead this change. It is a huge transformation for Europe to make, and the Balts will be at the center of that. Indeed, it is you and me who are ready to show the way for the West. The West that is drowning in degeneracy and multiculturalism and all kinds of cancer, such as feminism and jokes like human rights. By the way, I've been to the West and they actually think human rights are serious business. No kidding. Yeah, that West can be saved by no less than the Baltic man. Why in the age of POS and SJWs and globalism am I so certain that a change will come? Because time is cyclical and history is paradoxical. What is present will become past, and what is future will become present. And also, what is past will become future. The liberals are fools who think that they have control over history, that they know its direction since the French Revolution. They think that time is one-dimensional. And for the liberals it certainly is, for their time is running out and they are only moving towards extinction. Everything that the liberals have done has brought their end closer. And I will say, thank you liberals for bringing about the winter, for we can now create spring. You see, this battle is deeper than the immediate physical world. It involves psychology and philosophy and mythology and the occult. Anyone who wants to become a nationalist politician needs first some experience in these fields. Otherwise, he risks mentally and intuitively becoming part of the system. Thus, a nationalist politician must also be a veteran of the meme wars. And the meme wars are what I want you to prepare for. The cultural Marxists have a very simplistic idea how they fight our ideas. We must deconstruct the idea of the white race. But they can't deconstruct the Baltics. They have no idea how to deconstruct a tradition that is 10,000 years old and goes back to the Ice Age. They simply can't fight Perkunas and Tarapita. I guess they don't even know who they are. No one has been able to bring the Balts out of forest because the forest is inside us. So let us deconstruct the ideas of the globalists instead. Let us deconstruct the idea of human race. For this is where all their ideology begins and ends. The only identity that they really support is the human identity. The liberal individualism and global humanism are really the same thing. A global capitalist consumer society is exactly the same as global communism. In globalism, you can only be an individual with no roots, no sense of belonging, and you can only have a collective with no wings, no future for a group, because that creates conflict. But when you have roots and wings, you start looking around you, and you see as a whole your people, your land, and all forms of life that belonged to your land. And our ancestors, who certainly had both roots and wings, certainly felt a stronger connection with life around them than with humans on the far side of the earth. In spirit and in the sense of belonging, we are far closer to our dogs and beavers and flying squirrels, and we can even be better friends with trees than Africans or South Americans. Humanity means nothing. Homeland is everything. We here in the Baltics have never lost our connection with the nature. Western Europeans lost it a long time ago. In their legends and fairy tales, they are afraid of the forest. And in Russian legends, if you go too deep in the woods, you can be eaten alive by Baba Yaga, who is actually a representation of a finno-ugric female shaman. The Estonian shamans used to have snakes as domestic animals, and they were able to communicate with them. And this was seen as evil by the 17th century missionaries who burned the witches at stake. Those SJWs and liberals of the 17th century were terrified because they sensed that somewhere in the Baltics might be hidden a key to the destruction of their whole globalist anthropocentric ideology. And so should modern-day globalists be terrified. For we might finally complete the system if we can merge the traditionalism of de Maistre and Evola and Guénot with a futurism of Marinetti and D'Annunzio and Smetana, and then fuse it into one with ancient Baltic and finno-ugric shamanic wisdom. We will have unimaginable, tremendous mimetic power in our hands. The system of ethno-futurism will be complete. And we will have created the foundation of a new Europe. A new Europe that, instead of Rome, will have its center of gravity and historical reference point in the Baltic. But what about our own people? How do we show the way to the majority of them who are tired of politics, lost between the circle of westernization and corruption of the ruling class, who have their roots in the communist elites? Once there were the glorious moments of the singing revolution, but it ended too quickly. And did it really have to result in this? Was the whole point really just moving from the east to the west? And if we are unhappy with the west, then the rulers say, well, do we want to go back to the east? No, we don't. And the point was never really about that. The singing revolution was not about getting to live like rich Western people. And it wasn't just about free market and human rights. No, it was about identity and independence and nationalism. It was about becoming who we are and always have been. It was about securing the existence of our people and a future for our children. And until this day, the singing revolution remains unfinished. A common Estonian or Latvian or Lithuanian might ask, but aren't we free now? Can we not elect our leaders, and have we not freedom of speech? Aren't we free to go to work in Norway or England? Haven't we fulfilled our dreams by being able to fill our stomachs? Haven't we got everything, and even more, that our nations are capable of, that our nations deserve? Haven't we fulfilled our potential and our destiny? To which the answer is, you haven't. You really haven't. There is so much yet to be done. So many ways we can yet build true ethno-states. So much potential in us both yet undiscovered. For we are the blood of our ancestors, and the soul of our forests, and the wrath of the Baltic Sea, and the heart of the stars above, and we are the earthly body of our gods. And the destiny of the Balts is as much here in the soil as it is in the stars. And this is the destiny of the Ice Age mammoth hunters, the destiny of Gediminas and Lembittu, the destiny of you and me, as we all merge into three cosmic threads that unite our ancestors with our descendants through us, the eternal Estonian, the eternal Latvian, and the eternal Lithuanian. My ancestors stand here today with me, as I will visit the stars with my descendants. For they are me and you will be them. And this is the destiny of the Balt that is yet to be fulfilled. And yet this means that however small our countries seem, this also is a part of our destiny. However vulnerable it feels here between the East and the West, it is a challenge posed to us by our destiny. If the world is against us Balts, it is because it wouldn't be fair otherwise. The empires come and go, but the Balts have remained. In fact, we are small enough that we can easily bypass huge historical changes. Like the first small mammals who survived when the dinosaurs went extinct and eventually came to dominate all life on the planet. We can be 3 flying squirrels hopping from one Spenglerian megacycle to another just before the wheels meet and crush everything in between. We can survive, and we will survive. But we must not forget that so is saving Europe on our shoulders. I'm sure we can agree that although we Balts are the greatest, the rest of European nations also deserve to be saved by us. And there is really one way it can be done. The anti-globalist, pro-ethnic part of Europe has to be consolidated as strongly as possible in order to prepare for the upcoming counter-jihad. We call this part intermarium. We Baltic nationalists have to become agents of intermarium and work both openly and secretly towards its creation in the immediate future. Now, I keep hearing that Lithuanian and Ukrainian nationalism aren't really popular in Poland. And I'm sure you guys want to fight them too. But you can have it after we have saved Europe. And the same goes about the Hungarians and Romanians and Slovaks. At least I'm happy that the Balkans are really peaceful and willing to work together for the European future. But we have to work in order to bring peace between those nations. And this is something where all of us who have friends among intermarium nationalists can help. As a convinced finno-ugric supremacist, I have to emphasize that there are many European peoples who also need saving in Russia. Among them, Maris, who have kept alive almost entirely the ancient finno-ugric religion, and Udmurts, who are statistically the most red-haired people in the world, and the Votes, who were once the ruling class of Novgorod, but whose language now remains spoken in 3 last villages that are soon to be demolished with the construction of the Luga harbor by Russia. If those peoples do not become independent, they will go extinct, because Russian policy is a policy of the destruction of finno-ugric culture and language. This is a white genocide that even the alt-right knows little of. And we will have to save the Finno-Ugrians if we are going to save Europe, because they are the most authentic Europeans in the universe. The filthy hand of civilization has never touched them, and their tradition is pure, as they follow their ancient blood and soil doctrine on the river Volga, in the Urals and in the Arctic. So, to conclude, my priorities are Number 1, saving Estonians. Number 2, saving Latvians and Lithuanians. Number 3, saving the finno-ugrians. Number 4, saving all Europeans worldwide. And number 5, saving the flying squirrels. There are less than 100 of them remaining in Estonia. They are endangered mainly because of the Swedish and other foreign companies who support the extraction of Estonian forest reserves. And we have to stop it, just like we have to stop the cultural Marxist plan to destroy our peoples. So let me be clear. We are going to win. We are winning in memes, and we will be winning in real life. And where the globalists are going down, we will rise. And with us rises the new Baltic man, new and ancient at the same time. We will pave the way for him, as we will pave the way for our tribal future. For Europe, long live great intermarium, finno-ugric pride worldwide, praise Lietuva Lietuvians.